video goes out and Linda, who's in hospital with the Rona. So everybody send Linda in England good healing vibes, okay? Uh, so there wasn't much happening this week. I was very busy with other things. And in terms of wider world, that first thing that really struck me is how that Facebook, what's it called, whistleblower thing has blown up completely in their faces, except for the mainstream media because they're paid to tell them to believe in. But such an obvious farce from the start. It was such an obvious scam. It just like designed to protect politicians. And to see that some piece of shit politician there going, "We will, Mark Zuckerberg, we will protect them from you." No, what you're trying to protect yourself from ordinary people on Facebook and social media pointing out what a scumbag you are. And so it's like, it's just, other than the mainstream media, who, we're all morons anyway, work for everyone who works in the mainstream media is a civil work for government, do not work for anyone else, every single one of them. And so that was kind of funny. Something was a good video doing the rounds on social media. By the way, my Facebook ban is up on Wednesday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday. There was a good thing on social media about the Netflix and its connection to the Freud family. If you don't know this, I think I pointed this out like a year or two ago. The Sigmund Freud's nephew was Edward Bernays. Now, Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda, and he took a lot of his uncle's psychological ideas. A young guy, and he went to America when he was 24 and got the United States involved in World War One. That was his primary brief while he was there. And so also along with that, his descendants are all running Netflix. So Netflix is part of the Freud family. Now this ties in with the Maddie McCann thing, because one of the prime suspects in the Maddie McCann disappearance, an individual called Clement Freud, who was a member of the Freud family, an English member of the family. He was like a satirist stroke TV presenter back when I was a kid. But he's a notorious paedophile, and he liked little girls. Now, he was friends with Jerry McCann and Kate McCann, the parents. So this is why Netflix, when they ran that documentary on Maddie McCann, was a complete whitewash to protect the McCanns and to point out suspects who don't exist. So a video went viral this week on social media explaining the connection between how Netflix is an extension of Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis. It's designed to destroy your mind. This is why they're actively promoting pedophilia and things like that. And of course, it was made by Truder, so it had the satanic. So I don't even know what Satanism is, but they had this. They call it satanic. It's not. They're just freaks, okay? And so Sigmund Freud was a strange bastard. He smoked something like 10 full cigars a day. He was obsessed with cocaine. He used to make his wife and her sister have sex, and he was having a relationship with the sister and the wife, so his sister-in-law and his wife at the same time, claiming it was for research. And we all know that, his contribution was that he saw that he was the first one to realize that dreams are highly significant in understanding the psyche. So he deserves credit for that. But as soon as Carl Jung took it into the world of spiritualism, Freud railed against his occultism and actively spent the rest of his life trying to destroy Carl Jung. For going down the road of occultism, the black tide of occultism, he called it. He wanted to. He actually said to Carl Jung, we have to make a dogma out of the sexual theory. So he did. He made a dogma out of the sexual theory that basically that all the problems in the world were basically caused by women not having penises. That's basically, you can underline all of Freud's psychoanalysis. You can bring it down to that. He believed that all the problems in the world were caused by female penis envy, and that was he gathered all his information on human behavior from wealthy Viennese, at that time the Habsburg Empire, um, aristocrats in Vienna, and that became the basis for which to control all humanity to this day through Netflix. Netflix and Netflix and nonce, it should be really called. Even the way you saw how Netflix and chill was designed, Netflix and sex. You know, the sexual theory. The whole thing of Netflix and chill is Freud's sexual theory made into a dogma. But anyway, they whitewashed they made a documentary on the McCann, and they whitewashed it to protect Jerry and Kate McCann. I've always been interested in that story anyway, but also Clement Freud, the number one suspect in Portugal of the disappearance of this child, and a known paedophile into little girls. So I was watching this the other day, and I was saying to myself, "Oh, this weekend the newspapers will be full of Maddie, new suspect found." And sure enough, I went in to get my coffee this morning, and all the tabloid rags all have a picture of Maddie McCann on the cover, and they all say, "Maddie, the suspect is 100% the abductor." You know, this kind of thing. But it doesn't exist. Or someone they just they decided that did it, and you could see the spin machine just instantly came out. Now, the reason why Jerry McCann, in particular, has all his political protection, is he's a high-ranking Freemason. And I know that from the fact that when the Portuguese police showed up after his daughter allegedly went missing, he was standing with his hands like this. And they thought he was a Muslim in the call to prayer. What he was doing was the grand hailing of press of the Scottish Rite, when you ask a policeman to help you get out of a tricky situation you found yourself in. The two cops from the Portuguese police were not Masons, and they didn't know what the sign meant. So that's what all that is all about. But I knew it. I said this weekend the papers will be full of Maddie this, new suspect, and sure enough, bang, right in there, as a response to this Netflix thing that's spinning around out there. It's really remarkable, actually. In many ways, the Maddie McCann mental illness mass hysteria was kind of like 20 years ago, or whenever it was kind of like a precursor to the whole Rona thing. I can remember how the mainstream media acted, fawning over the McCanns. I can remember reading things in British tabloids where the reporter would be writing, Kate McCann is a classic English beauty, English rose, a beautiful English rose of no comparison. And it was very difficult for all the male reporters not to fall in love with her, because the kind of shit they were posting in the early days. And the Irish media was just as bad fawning over them. You had this thing like, will Cherry and Kate be coming to Ireland? Will they be coming to visit us? Will they? Wow! Will they be coming to see us? Not two fucking fuckers who left their kids alone without a babysitter. I mean, I saw the mental. I mean, yeah, I've always known human beings. Most of them were fucking dumb cunts anyway. But that was that along with the Rona thing. Give me my 55th needlecraft booster. That just drives from what dumb fucks most human beings are. But I always remember that. Is Kate and Jerry coming to Ireland? Wow, they're coming here. Oh, they're really going to come here. This kind of shit. Fucking mental, And the main factor in all that people should always remember is that one of the questions, Kate McCann refused to answer 40 questions that were put to her by the police in the Algarve. Now, if your child was missing and the police needed your help, wouldn't you be as cooperative as anything? As anything? No, but she refused to answer the questions because she didn't want to incriminate herself. But one question that people should always remember was the question where they said, were you planning to give up your daughter to adoption to your sister-in-law? She was planning to get rid of Maddie somehow. She didn't want that child. And the plan was to give it to the sister. So that's why she seemed cold. I mean, no one has ever read those 40 questions, but the one that jumps out is is, where are you planning to give Maddie to your sister-in-law? They want that kid had some kind of difficulties, or some kind of, she was a kid that was difficult to take care of or something, and these, she obviously, the parents didn't think she was right for their family or something, and they wanted to concentrate on the other kids. So I mean, the whole thing is so sordid, but like, I knew exactly what was going to happen this weekend, and like fucking, like, setting the timer on your clock, it happens. It happens. So another thing is, asteroid stories in the newspaper are just not stopping. They're constantly, and now, we can, we're safe from asteroids. We won't be hit. We've got special rockets that can nudge them out of the way. Every fucking day, if it's an asteroid, a comet, we're going to be here. We could be here, but we're not going to be here. And it's like, I've never seen so many stories about asteroids ever. Ever. And those people say, oh, we're getting better at detecting them. The one that nearly missed us, the Doomsday one a while back, last week there, they didn't even see that till the day before it happened. So I'm convinced we're going through a part of the universe where there's, debris. These, the solar system is probably passing, and that's why I said maybe Uma was a signpost left there by an ancient civilization saying, be careful, you're in a bad area now. And, like a signpost, a warning post, slippery when wet, slippery when asteroids, but very fucking slippery. But yeah, every day, literally every day, there's something like that. It's mad. Every fucking day. And so I'm still convinced that the Rona is a cover story for something like that, and it's on a need-to-know basis. It doesn't mean Dan Andrews down in Queenstown, down in Victoria. He they got the Aussie accent better then, didn't they? Dan Andrews down in Melbourne, a bit better, but he thinks it's all about the Rona, and he's out of control of power. But the likes of him wouldn't know. They'd be like the inner circle would know, whoever they are, the secret unknowns. They would know, and they'd be like, this is why these billionaires all go into space. They're all trying to hop off the earth when this thing is, when whatever catastrophe comes, jump up into space, wait and come back down when it's over. They're planning something like that, bastards. And the Chinese are building a massive space station, absolutely colossal, a colossal space station. So I mean, I don't trust anything in the news regarding the Rona stories or anything like that. And the whole thing of it's just amazing. Now they have them all traumatized. The deep mind control thing has started again. They have them all traumatized about Christmas. Oh, when they go and take Christmas away from us. Look, if they take Christmas away from you, that's your fault, not theirs. You should have it anyway. Oh no, I'm going to take the Christmas away. The Rona knows it's Christmas. You should have Christmas carols for the Rona, Yeah, when you wish upon a Rona, I'm dreaming of a variant Christmas, just like the one that killed my granny. Well, that's what it'll be like. Yeah, Christmas, because that's their god now, the Rona. They actually worship that thing. So I see, yeah, I had a quote about that got blasted all over by the people in Gab, and some guy who worked for Trump quoted me. They're all born again Christians, so they won't be happy when they find out that I'm not into that stuff. I went over to look at that Gab, and everything was like pictures of Jesus. I was like, oh, sir, you are lost. I was saying that to myself. But it was like, I went over to Gab to see, all these famous people pushing my quotes, just to embellish my self-esteem at a moment it needed embellishing. And I get over there, and there's all pictures of Jesus, and going to hell if you don't do this and don't do that, and I'm thinking of starting a Christian rock band, actually. because I think you make loads of money from that. That would be a good one, wouldn't it? To start, this is like a big good idea. To start, if I was younger now, 20 years younger, 30 years younger, fuck. A Christian rock band. And it'd be called For Him, something like that, you know? And it'd be like four clean-cut boys, you know? And it'd be like kind of like, this. The music would be like, I don't know, crap. But it would, the album cover would kind of be like like the Joshua Tree or something, right? And then like on the fourth, you know, get really successful doing Christian rock, and then, you know, and then all that kind of stuff, right? And then when it get really big, and you're on like the you know, the Praise the Lord network, come out as a devil metal band, you know, and that would just like switch around and say, oh, we've realized that the Christ is false, and we're now following Lucifer, Satan, Lord of the dark abyss. Wouldn't that be fucking great? Wouldn't that be a great thing to do, wouldn't it? Daddy. And you know, there'd be, you know, you'd have like gigs where the crucifix would be rotating upside down. Fucking, that would be the ultimate way to fucking troll them. But yeah, it was all full of that. I don't care anyone. I don't care if anyone's Christian. That's your own business. But it was just so. It was when I looked at Gab, it was just so full on. It was that American kind of Christian, which is like, American Christianity is like Shiite Islam. It's like they just don't put the fucking brakes on. It's just like it dominates every aspect of their life, and everything's Jesus. You know, it's real Barry Drewmore stuff. I haven't done him in a long time, have I? Barry Drewmore here, Christian Walnuts, Lynchburg, Tennessee. I hope you all keeping well at this time when we've been tested by the Lord with this Rona. Yes, I was telling my wife, diesel oil can, the other day, that she got to raise our children in a good Christian home. A good Christian, otherwise they'll grow up to be working for Zog. They'll grow up working for the Jews. And I said to them, you got to raise them as being a good Christians to fight this Jewish takeover. And I got my kids down. Bathsheba, Hebron, Shalom, and Ezekiel, Leviticus, Bubba. And I told them, you gotta fight for your Christian white rights. Yeah, anyway. That's what they like. That's actually what they absolutely like that. I mean, I remember watching like shows like Oprah Winfrey back in the day. And like, what was his man? There was the fucker who used to with, I saw Phil Donahue, that prick. And I used to watch those shows, and they used to deliberately rip up racism. Because they'd stick a load of KKK fuckers and someone like Al Sharpton and his crowd in the same room. And they would say, you know, like, there'd always be someone stand up, this would be like there'd always someone stand up in the back room and go, I don't know about racism. I love everybody. We may be black or we may be white, but inside we all bleed red. And they all just go. I always wanted to be that motherfucker. Anyway, just for the accolades. I would have done with that accent too. Can't we all just get along? And anyway, they'd have them there, right? The blacks and the white, like, radicals on either side, hoping for a fucking fight, and they always got it. And your man Donnie would be like with his microphone going, you know, why are you wearing a white sheet on your head? And he goes, because we the original boys in the hood. And yeah, we all done to start cause trouble. Now that has been taken onto the global stage now with things like Black Lives Matter. You know, that's what Black Lives Matter and those riots you saw in America. What you saw then is the Phil Donahue show and all those programs. Geraldo, remember that cunt? Geraldo. All that stuff brought out into the streets. taking it to the streets, out of the studio into the streets. But that's all that was. That's where they fermented all that shite in Donahue and Geraldo and all those shows. Morton Downey Jr., but at least he was entertaining. I liked him. He was funny. Those shows, it was all fermented in those kinds of things, and brought then, we're having an important debate on race. No, you're not. You're stoking it up. You're causing trouble. You're causing agitation with people sitting at home that don't want to be agitated. And that's what all that stuff, all this, all the black line, the knee, taking the knee, and all that. That's all an extension of all what be started on Geraldo and Donahue and all those wankers. Yeah. But I don't even know where I got how did I get from fucking Maddie McCann to that? I don't know. This is me. This is. I don't have streams of consciousness. I am a fucking stream of consciousness. But yeah. So I mean, how the fuck did I get from Maddie McCann to asteroids to wanting to start a Christian rock band that was actually a front to Phil Donahue, Oprah, and Geraldo doing race baiting? I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I can look back. There's a link there somewhere. But yeah, I mean, the media has always been bastards. They've always been bastards, and you never treat them with respect. You never be nice to them. I mean, the national broadcaster here in Ireland is pure evil. It's RTE, pure evil, and all it does is upset people, and it's all it lives for. During the height of the Rona thing, they were using every show, including the Late Late Show, their biggest show, a stupid fucking entertainment show, to push the Rona thing non-stop. It was all about psychological warfare, causing deep traumatic pain within this population, to make them dependent on government and make them worship politicians as gods, which they already do here in this country. They're such spineless fucking maggots in this country. They worship politicians like gods, even when they call them pricks. They just do. And yeah, that's it. Anyway, I can't think of any fucking thing else to say. Oh yeah, don't forget the pub, the BR313 pub. Tomorrow night at 9:30 Irish UK time. I put Timony and Jason on the road. I sent them to go get footage that we need for the Sasquatch. So I sent them into the arse end of the Pacific Northwest to get footage for the Sasquatch film, which is rapidly coming together. Just to get a few more parts for it. But if they get eaten by bears, that's not my fault. They did that by themselves, by their own free will. I said, go off to the woods and get some extra footage. And they went, yeah! And they go off to the woods, get extra footage. So if they get eaten by bears, it's not my fault. Okay. So anyway, have a lovely weekend, you beautiful bastards.